Hey mathematicians, I just wanted to walk you through a quick example of how to do tonight's homework. So each of these, you've just got 8, that's all, so it's pretty short, and you need to solve a system, and I am going to add here by graphing or substitution. You can actually use either method since we've kind of talked about substitution a little bit. And so that is your choice, whether you want to, oh my gosh, it would help if I could spell. Substitution. Good grief. Okay, so I'm going to add to those directions that you can solve them by graphing or by doing substitution. So let me remind you how you could do each one, and I'm going to use number 1 as an example. So for problem number 1, we're going to graph the top equation starting at -3. And then our slope tells us that each coordinate from there is going to be up 5/1. I do not have enough room on this graph to make a third coordinate, so we're just going to add the line. Make sure it's nice and straight and goes all the way across the graph so that we don't miss out on an intersection point, should we have one. Remember to add arrows, or it's not technically mathematically correct. Alrighty, so equation 2, we're going to start at +4. And then our slope tells us that we are going to be going down 2 and over 1, down 2 and over 1. And I'm going to add another line, of course. Stretch out, make sure it's nice and lined up. So you can see the intersection point is right here where they intersect. So I'm going to type in the box, and I'm going to type 1, 2, and you can see that you got that correct. Okay, on your end, it'll pop up, as correct once you get in there. All right, so when we talked about substitution on Friday and today, we also talked about the idea that you don't have to solve these by graphing. If you want to, you can also solve them by substitution. So remember, the idea of that is that since 5x minus 3 is equal to y, and -2x plus 4 is also equal to y, if you don't want a graph to solve, option number 2, now you need to show your work, of course, but you could just set up an equation and you could solve it that way as well. So if I were going to solve this one, I would cancel out my -2x by doing a +2x on both sides. Oops. Messy, sorry. So that we get 7x minus 3 is equal to 4. I'll add 3 to both sides. So that I've got 7x is equal to 7. And then divide both sides by 7 so that x is equal to 1. So that would give us our x coordinate, but then remember we need to still get a y coordinate. So I'm just going to take one of those equations. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to type it over there. And now that I know that x is equal to 1, because because I just got that in that previous solution, right? I can actually take that x out of the equation and substitute a 1 in its place. So that it would be y equals, instead of 5 times x, it would be 5 times 1, which is 5 minus 3. So we know that y is equal to 2. So either way, you could solve this for the homework. You'll get credit. Either graph them and show the solution that way, or make sure you show your work, of course, but you can set them up algebraically through substitution as well. Either one will be accepted for this assignment.